Maybe one day I'll take help of Sam. So you see that our entire Eastern wisdom says that first we have to apply our reason, logic. The way science applies the logic, reason to find the truth. So once we apply that reasoning, we have a glimpse of that truth. And then that truth is explained in the Eastern wisdom. So we follow that path, and ultimately, it takes us to awakening. Simple way to understand that. So, what happens when we apply the reasoning? Their master says that I become a seeker. So, if we are not a seeker, nothing happens. Seeking, you can say seeking, desiring. So, I must have those qualifications of that seeking. So it is explained only in 3 words. Yukti. Yukti means, do you have a reasonable mind? Reasonable mind. No, I mean to say that, oh, I'm talking of real self and you say hell with you. So that doesn't work. Let me understand first before I say. Now, that's how I was talking to Jerry just. No, no, I don't believe people have different opinion about vaccine. Come on. Fauci is an expert. Listen to him. Finished. Stop the topic. But we don't want to do it. So that is what yukti is. Yukti, Sanskrit word, means fair logic. We should apply the fair logic. Now you see, if you don't apply the logic, then what happens? You breed conflict in you and you breed the conflict in others. Do you see in daily life? How to make your life beautiful, happy, kind. Look at this. So 3 words, only 3 words completes the entire journey of yoga or Eastern wisdom. Yukti, applying some logic. Logic for what? What the logic does? This is my house and that is neighbor's house. Logic. Simple. So this is my real self and this is not my real self. So from there the journey starts. Here the John has come here. So there the journey starts. Then once we have basic understanding, then we say, here is a principles of Eastern wisdom, and we should understand it. We should follow the practice. We should follow the practice. And when we do the practice, what happens? Something inside changes everything. We experience, means I know where the happiness is. That knowing happiness is my experience. Knowing peace is my experience. Then it becomes irreversible. That is the ultimate of the journey of yoga. So Patanjali has explained, I would say, almost more than 50 ways. That is what we are learning. Now take one example. Now you see that? You will see that the same thing I follow, the process. It takes time to understand. Knowledge is realized in stages. So I follow the same example. First I start with the rational statement, and then I follow the principles, and then I say, let us do the practice. Same thing. It's very easy. Nothing extraordinary. But it takes time to understand. You see, in a full moon night, what happens? Sun gives the light to the moon, and ultimately moon gives the light to the earth. Is it so? No, I can simply explain it. So this moon is the mind, sun is the real self, and this earth is the world. So now see what we are studying, that if we live in the state of the cheerfulness, how to attain that state of the cheerfulness? By cultivating in the mind. By cultivating in the mind Maitri, Karuna, Mudita, Upekshanam. So, I'm cultivating the state of the cheerfulness by friendliness, compassion, joy, and equanimity towards 4 different types of people. Now, if I don't take care of my mind inside and I force myself, how are you? I'm fine. How are you? I get a response from everyone. But I lose awareness of the mind at that moment. Majority. So what the master is saying, don't lose that awareness. Are you happy? Someone is greeting you. Express that happiness to the others. So you see that sun, real self, gives the light to the mind. So because our goal is to settle in meditation, that will reveal the knowledge of the reality. So every step, practice of yoga is focused on the mind. So that is why I stress again, by these 4 traits and qualities of the mind, we enter into the state of the cheerfulness. And what is that cheerfulness? What happens in the cheer? Mind is quiet. Mind is not running in here and there. So when we live into that state of the cheerfulness, then next job is that I have to live in the world. So then comes the next step, that how to cultivate those qualities in the mind to express that cheerfulness, to keep the mind in the state of quietness and calmness all the time. Why? Ask why. You see, you have to put the logic to understand why. Then I can be in the state of meditation all the time. Quiet mind is happy mind. And happy mind is a cheerful mind. And the cheerfulness will help us to enter into the state of meditation easily. So you see the entire sequence of understanding. So now see that what happens, we have covered the 2 qualities. 2 qualities. Yesterday I was talking about Gita. So Gita helps us to understand why we do not remain cheerful. So the master, now you see that I'm introducing the principle. I have nothing to hide. I can tell you every secret, provided you accept it and you follow it. So what it says, Yada te mohu kalilam. Understand that part. Through my intellect, through my understanding, I remove the delusion of the mind. So by intellect, I understand what is the delusion, and then I separate myself. How I separate? You don't separate physically, you are separating in your mind. Don't So you are separating that delusion. First, you recognize that delusion, and second, then you are able to separate. So what is left? Cheerfulness. So what we do in the world day to day, physical activities, personal activities, professional activities, social activities. This is what we do, family activities. The moment we are in a waking state, we have to perform these actions. So now, in performing these actions, the mind is sleeping, mind is in ignorance, mind has some bias, mind has likes and dislikes. This is what the delusion is. That is why Patanjali is saying we have to install these qualities first in the mind. I'm in stress and I meet John and I say, okay, I have to move with the friendliness. I try hard to be cheerful, but it is not there. I'm already in stress. One aspect. Second aspect, you see that now I recognize that this mind is still crazy day to day. How many times, how much time I am crazy during the day? Crazy means, I move with the likes and dislikes, biased attitude, I blame and complain game. This must go to settle in the state of the cheerfulness. That is the first thing, so that I can remove the bigger delusion. What I am not, I can drop it. So I attended many sessions in New Jersey on loving meditation, compassion meditation. This is just a preparation. And some people claim that no, the compassion and friendliness is that concept is only in Buddhism. No, it is here. We are studying. So it all is yoga. So now see that a practical tip. I have started talking to you. I become aware where the mind is. Is the mind pure? So when the mind is cheerful and quiet, I am ready to take up the subject better. Second part. Third, then I look into the kind of attachment and bias and likes and dislikes that is going in the mind. I separate it. Mentally, I have to do it logically. So when I separate this attachment, I drop the likes and dislikes. So when I drop the likes and dislikes, I hit the delusion part in the mind. The moment you hit the delusion part, the same mind says, what the heck? Why you have likes and dislikes? What you will get? If the person is not good, let him not be good. If the person is good, let him be good. Now see, that principle now comes. Huh? I believe you are understanding. Now that principles comes. What is that? What is the first principle we say? Maitri. The person is happy. Now what you see? I express my happiness to that people. Any newcomer used to go to my master and he used to take a very deep interest. Oh, what are you doing? From where you have come? How long you are going to stay? When you are going to leave? So his mind was totally focused on others. How come? Because there is no likes and dislikes inside. The mind is not in delusion. Are you understanding? Are you getting it? So the focus is not on others in the world. The focus is that you allow. Did I explain again? I'm repeating. Sun gives the light to the moon, and the moon gives light to the world outside. So now that moon, the mind, is clear. It is quiet. It is ready to act in the world. Huh? With what? With friendliness, with compassion, with joy, with equanimity. So, what happens? Again, remember, when we live into the state of cheerfulness, and if I say, you guys, that only the state of the cheerfulness in the mind will succeed in meditation. I am hitting your mind. That's how we guide. But it does not mean that cultivating these four traits in the mind is meditation. Many people have a misconception: loving meditation, compassion meditation. How the loving meditation will take place when there is already a hatred, likes and dislikes is growing in the mind? How it will have clear understanding. Huh? So once you have that clear understanding, then we use the word cultivating. Cultivating. Cultivating takes time. There is a period of activity in the mind. You think of it. Huh? The moment you think, oh, I don't like this guy. So you need not to focus on the guy you dislike, but you focus on the mind, why you are having this idea, this thought, what you will get. First step of the cultivation. So first step is you have to make an effort internally. And once you make an effort, cultivating, then you sow the seed. Okay, now I will express my happiness with Christina, with Jerry, with David, with everyone. Then I understand. Otherwise, what happens? You see, I have heard from a lot of people, oh, that guy is very, very rough and tough, So I know that, but I'm in yoga, so I have to follow happiness. This doesn't work. You are already in conflict. You have already branded that person. Do you see that? This will help us a lot in our daily life. One of the beautiful practices. So we understand that part. And what happens after? After you sow the seed and then you wait. So you wait, you continue the effort. One day you wake up in the morning and you say, oh, mind was continuously hating someone. Now when you wake up in the morning, that hatred is gone. Mind says, why? Why you are destroying your mind? Why you are destroying your quietness? Leave that. Drop it. So once you drop it, that is the point. Now you understand how to apply these four traits in the state of cheerfulness. Maitri, Karuna, Mudita Upekshana, Sukha Dukha, Punya Punya Vishayanam, Bhavanat Prasadanam. Friendliness to the people who are happy. Karuna, compassion to the people who are suffering. So here the word suffering comes ignorance. Oh, this guy doesn't know his real nature. That is why he is suffering. That idea hits in the mind. The idea doesn't hit in the mind that, he doesn't have money. Give him all the money. Why don't give you the money? Give him. No, I don't have it. So then don't be compassionate. Finish. So rather, in the garb of being compassionate, we get a lot of stress. I've seen a lot of people You see, they start crying. They start crying. They start suffering. Is that compassion? No, I saw him, he was suffering. And then you have the tears in your eyes. No, this will not work. Especially in the journey of whatever you do, if you feel it is right, then you continue to do it and continue to suffer. So now coming to the third mudita. It is known as mudita. Both in Pali language, it is known as mudita, joy, and also in that Pali language is an offshoot of Sanskrit. So Pali, all our majority of the text of Buddhism is written in Pali. So that's why they use mudita. It's a Sanskrit word. Mudita, rejoice. I'm always delighted. I'm always happy with him. Are you happy all the time with him? No, I'm always happy provided my friend does not call me. That is not mudita. The seeker remains glad, happy, and enjoy in the changing outer conditions of life, and keeps. Many people during the last year, how can I go out? I cannot do anything. It's a COVID. I will break all the rules. We see in our country, in every country. So it means I'm affected by the outer conditions. That is why my joy and the gladness has gone. This will not work in yoga. The word mudita is against suffering, envy, jealousy, and having a big face. The mind changes its states instantly the moment I find favorable, unfavorable conditions in my day-to-day life. That must change in the mind first. Then that is cultivation. And then I express that by feeling to the others. First step to cultivate this mudita, this joy, that outer condition in the world of people, place, time are given to us to evolve and accelerate our evolution. It will take time. But this, any outer situation, condition, people with whom I am living, whom I meet, goal of the existence is to accelerate my process of evolution. It's a tough choice. Someone comes to you, you're crazy. Mind is hurt. Can I see that it is a process of my evolution? How come? Let me use the power of tolerance. How it will come? It can be done by the discernment. Second step, our relationship with the world outside is nature's design to help and support us in our evolution. Everything. Have you heard about the story of Socrates, who had a cruel wife? And he had many followers. So every day he used to go to his house with his followers, and his wife used to throw all the utensils of the kitchen, and everyone used to get hurt. That is the message. Beautiful. So after 10 years, I don't remember the guy who also became one of the great teacher. He asked his master Socrates, I want to get married. What is your opinion? Get married, Socrates said. Come on, I was hurt for the last 10 years. What are you saying? Why should I get married? Socrates said, come on, you lived with me for 10 years. You have understood. You have progressed a lot. Only two options are left. If you get a wife like mine, there will be another Socrates. Look at it. The attitude. So this tells you the attitude. What we do? Divorce. No, that will not work. Huh? So Socrates further said, if you get a wonderful wife, then both the worlds will be happy. You are happy in your family life, and you are also happy as a teacher. But if you get a wife like me, apply that into husband or wife. I don't have any bias against any man. So you see that this is what the mudita is. This has to be done 24/7. Why? During the waking state, we have to enter. Third step is to educate the mind. That is very important. Third step in cultivating mudita is to educate the mind that pain and pleasure, sorrow and happiness, profit and loss enters life. They are bound to happen. They are bound to happen. So what mudita creates a condition inside the mind, a sense of tolerance, a sense of discipline to lead the life to the self-discovery. And we had, I would say we have more than 500 stories in the life of Buddha like this. So understand this. This is what the mudita is. So my master used to say, forget about everyone. Make everyone happy. But if I say someone get disturbed, then what should I do? So that is why I told you, first the cultivating in the mind, that attitude. So once you have that attitude in the mind, then what happens? This mudita blossoms and you remain cheerful. Huh? Christina, you are smiling. I like this. This is good. Yes. So you see, this is what happens in our life when we understand these principles, and that helps you to go deeper into the state of meditation. So let us start our journey. We will pick